What is happening, everybody? Just checking a mic out here real quick before we get started. Wanted to make sure we're running. Can you hear me? If so, let me know in the chat. I think we've got her, so we're gonna roll. So, working on Guitar Hero. Um, the last stream I was measured twice, cut once. Well, I measured like 17 times because I was super tired. It was 4 in the morning. I'd been at work all night. And in my measuring and my calculating, as soon as I ended that stream, I realized I was off. So on my front panel, I had to move my speakers in 1 more inch. So I think I wound up being like, 4 inches to center, 5 inches to center. Yeah, that sounds about right. We got the deck cut out, sanded down, rounded the corners just a little bit, so they're not so straight and sharp. Even though the II Arcade does come with kind of a sharp deck, they even include plastic corner deck protectors to protect you from bumping into it, I guess. So tonight we're gonna do a dry fit. I've got the front panel cut out for our speakers. So we're going to see how they fit. I think we should be good. And we're going to check our lighting on them as well. So as a reminder, for the speakers, we are using JBL Club Marine speakers model MS65LB. They're 6.5-inch speaker, two-way speaker, 75 watt, and they have the RGB lights built into the grill. These are a marine speaker, so they're made for harsh elements. They also should pump out some good noise. So we're going to have 4 of those, and they come with, in the box, you're going to get like a little gasket to go around the speakers. That'll help to reduce any vibration. Little hardware kit with screws. Looking at these screws, they take a star bit and they don't include the star bit, which I thought was really odd. You get 2 speakers, of course, in that box. You get some JBL labels, 1 orange and 1 silver, so that you can, or 2 orange and 2 silver, so you can label the speaker if you want to, or you can just leave it empty. And then you're going to get a plug that looks like this. Okay, and it's got a square end on it. It's an RGB plug. It's a 4-wire. So I've got my, I'm half colorblind here, purple, green, red, and black. And they're stripped on one end. So you've got a connector on one, stripped on the other. Well, that wire is going to connect to the speaker to power those lights. And so you'll get 2 of those. Okay. Then for the lights. Now the lights will, if you've got, if you're hooking up to a boat or something, you've probably already got something there to power them. They don't power just off of the speaker. There's not enough juice coming through in a speaker to cover something like that. So what I've got, I picked this up. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. This music controller, this was about 20 bucks on eBay. And it comes with a plug for your power. So you're going to snap that in, and you're going to screw your power in here. And I don't know how you're going to determine which one's positive, which one's negative. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. There's no markings that I see. Um, so it comes with that. You get a little bitty manual. Doesn't really tell you much. You get an RGB controller. Okay. You're going to get a little screwdriver because these are all, going to hardwire right into this, just like, well, I guess, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're not going to need these. These are basically just some adapter wires. These are flat where mine is square. Now, if you're doing a cabinet and you're using your typical RGB lights that you would buy for your house, yeah, these would probably work for you. And then you're going to get a power cable. So we got a red and a black on here. It does not come with a power supply. So for, I don't know, probably another $10 or so, I picked this power supply up. I think it should run the lights just fine. It is 24 volt, 1 1/4 amp. It is for low voltage lighting. So, and that will also come with a plug like this. One of these things, you guys have maybe seen these before. Some of the light up marquees use kits like this or things like this in their little kit. We're not going to use that tonight. Okay. So, in fact, I don't think, yeah, that's not going to get used at all. So first thing we need to do is see how these puppies fit. So I've got my terminals on one end and my speaker wire on the other. The terminals are going to go facing downward. And I called it speaker wire. I meant RGB wire. And honestly, guys, yeah, a little cohesion there, and it fits perfectly. I used a 5-inch hole saw. You could go bigger just to make sure you've got plenty of room. I wouldn't go any more than 5 1/8. But I'm pretty content with how that's looking. And so then we would have other way. Yeah, that one fits good. Maybe I'll take a file and just trim this hole down a little bit because this one pops right in all the way. Fits nice too. And so, yeah, we're going to have 4 of those after we get the art on this. Ran into noticed a bit of a design flaw on the art in the design. And so the art got a little bit delayed, but it is coming. So, yeah. Check the chat here. Looks like Biggie D's in the house. How we doing? Yeah, Biggie D, I am converting this II Arcade into a Guitar Hero. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This has been a series I've been doing a little bit in my spare time, when I've got time kind of thing. And I'm just kind of bringing everybody along for the ride, being very open on the cost of everything with you. When I'm all done, I'll sit down and I'll figure out the total cost of the project. I picked up the II Arcade cab for $225. It's going to be running off of an Xbox 360. For now, I do plan to eventually convert it over to a PC and use Wii guitars. But yeah, so we know that the Xbox works. We know that the amplifier works because we've tested that already. in a previous stream. So really what I need to do is just check out the lights and make sure that they work, and they should be sensitive to music or sound. And so hopefully they will dance. So we're just going to wire this thing up here. We're just going to check one and see how it works and make sure it works and make sure everything talks, if you will. Now, there's 4 speakers to the base. The top speakers do not have lighting on the cabinet. So make sure I get this right. Yep. There's 4 speakers to the base of the cabinet. They don't have any lighting on them on the top, but the bottom do. Now, I got 2 of these sensors, and tonight we're just going to wire them up. Actually, you know what? We're going to wire up 2 speakers. So this will run 2 different lighting effects. What we're going to try to do is see if we can run both speakers off of one side, if it'll let me get the wire in there for that. It might, and it might not. We're just going to have to see. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to loosen these screws up on the top. And as you do that, you'll see it kind of opens up. So I got 2 of these, one for the top set and one for the bottom set of speakers on the lower panel. But if I can use just one, I'm going to. And then I've got the other one for a future project. Or maybe, I don't know, I might wire, I've got some lighting around the edges of the arcade. I might wire it up to it if it works really good as far as the music sensitivity goes. The reviews were mixed. It does have an on-off switch, so you can set the sensitivity level. So we'll just see how this goes. So we're going to start with black, I guess. Black is our positive on these. I'm just going to twist those a little bit, maybe. There. So, yeah, this may not work. I may wind up having to use both. Let's get that in, and we'll screw that down, tighten it up. Okay. And then RGB. So we got red, green, blue. I think I called it purple earlier. So it must be a blue. And so let's just start with that one as long as we're talking about it. Let's see if I can fish both of these in here, and then we'll tighten that down. So yeah, like I said, I got this off of Amazon. This piece was 20 bucks. And then you buy the power supply separate. And you know, what's a power supply? 10, 12 bucks, I would guess. I don't recall. But I think I have everything now. was going to solder the speakers, and when I tried, I remembered how bad my solder skills are. So instead, I ordered some terminals. And when they arrived, I didn't have the right size in the kit that was sent. So I've got more terminals coming. Otherwise, yeah, we have everything. Well, I got one green wire that looks like it slipped out. So we'll tighten the red in, and then we're going to go back and put that green back in there. Yeah, I really feel like the II Arcade was the best option for this. I've looked at some others that people have done on Arcade 1-Ups, and they just weren't that appealing to me. So yeah, again, I'm looking at this. I don't see any markings for which side's positive, which is negative. Oh, it's on here. Okay. I am going to assume that the black is positive because I know that the black is positive going out. So we're going to find out. So this plugs in like this. Okay, so this side is, the left side there is going to be my black. It'll be a fairly short stream tonight, guys. I know that, you know, it's Saturday night. There's other guys out there that stream tonight. And James Hates Everything is pretty consistent on his show Saturday nights. If you haven't seen his, check it out. He puts on a pretty good show. He does a lot with AI, and that's pretty interesting. Pretty entertaining, really. Well, this is, they don't give you much extra wire outside of the housing on this one. And what I like is also about this is this will mount. I'll take a couple of small 1/4-inch screws or something. I think I've got some extras from that I've taken out of something else in this project already, and it'll mount right on the inside of the cabinet. Okay. So this should plug in here like so. Nice and tight. Yep. Yep. I think we're good. I've turned it off. And let's give it a little juice here. See what happens. Okay. Well, I don't see smoke, but I also don't see my speakers lighting up. Let's see if the remote makes a difference. Pull that clear plastic battery protector out. And that is not giving us the effect we were hoping for either. Make sure I've got my circuit breaker on. Which, yeah, I do, because I'm charging the drill over here. Well, that's a bum deal. Now, it also could be that I've got that backwards. So before we determine that this is not working, let's reverse the polarity there. Disconnect that. And then I'm looking at this and I'm seeing where it pinches down. Now, and there's not much wire sticking out. I'm wondering if it's too short. So let's see if we can maybe strip a little bit off too. Maybe that it wasn't making contact. Now, if you have to do this, be careful. You don't want to overdo it. I can tell already it's just a copper wire with a little bit of solder on the lead. Okay. So now we're going to try it this way. It could also be that it's trying to pull power to power both of these, and I've got them in one side. Maybe that's not going to work. We are plugged in there, and that is plugged in. The drill is charging, so I know we've got juice coming out. Oh, well, would you check that out? We have light up speakers. I don't think you can see it on the stream there, but one is purple and one is blue. I don't know why that would matter. And if we hit the music button, we now have dancing speakers. Okay, so that's great, guys. So yeah, that's what I did. I hooked up the power backwards, but everything seems to be working just fine now. Um, Now remember, this is all going to power on and off um, with the remote controlled surge protector. So when you power that off, you won't have these things bouncing lights at you, even though the cabinet's not on. But yeah, pretty exciting. And then if I decide it's too sensitive, I can turn it down so it's a little less sensitive. But it's yeah, that's definitely better. I mean, but yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't want it to be sensitive though. I mean, it's going in a cabinet that's, I guess I do want it to have some sensitivity because if the game isn't being played, I don't necessarily want the speaker lights bouncing. And then there's different features, with any of these RGBs. You just got to play with the remote and see where it lands. So, yeah. I think it's interesting how I get the different colors out of them. They're hooked up exactly the same. There we go. Oh, they're color changing too. If you're quiet and you just sit, and that's the difference in them. This one is changing faster than this one. I don't think it really is going to matter. James, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, buddy. Was just talking about you. Your ears must have been ringing. So, yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So I think the lights are going to work great on the II Guitar Hero. Well, that's really all I got. My next step on this is I need to put some holes in the backing. I've got the backing here. And we're going to put some holes in it. I've got a 3-inch hole saw. We're going to cut this one out, this hole out, so that it's a 3-inch hole. And I'm putting one also right. Actually, I think I'm putting it where this one is. So this is also going to get cut out into a larger hole. And then we're going to have USB fans installed. Is that right? That one? No, this one is the bottom panel. This one, the USB fan is going here. And then about here, inside the base, will be the shelf that'll house the II Arcade. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not. It might need to be lower since it's going to eventually be a PCB, but I do want it up off of the base of the cabinet. So, and we'll see how that works when we get to that point. So yeah, waiting on speaker terminals and artwork from Game On Graphics. He's been really good to work with. By the way, if you haven't worked with him yet, it's a good option. There's a lot of people out there that do the artwork. Guys, these lights are driving me nuts. I got to unplug this. There's a lot of artwork options out there. I will say this, my experience has been that they're all good. Sometimes you do get what you pay for, though. So keep that in mind. The artwork for the II Arcade was $200, but I did have to pay to have it designed for the II Arcade. There's versions of it out there for Arcade 1-Up, especially the first gens. You could go with that route and save a little bit, but yeah, I like the look of the II Arcade. I think it is the closest thing out there cabinet-wise that can mimic the Guitar Hero shape. I did think about using a T2 cabinet just because of its height and its large front panel, empty space, no coin door or anything like that to deal with. But I found the II Arcade, and I found one that was brand new, still in a box, and cheap. And you know, if you're buying an II Arcade in a box, it's paperweight. They're worthless. You can't even sign the end user license agreement that it prompts you to, which I'm fairly certain also means you can't play any games, even the ones that come on it. So, well, that's all I've got. If you guys have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ding the bell, you know, all that good stuff. And thanks for stopping by tonight. I appreciate it, and have a great night. And most importantly, may you play until your fingers bleed.